Hello guys, welcome to our channel. The videos we make on this channel focus largely around various types of investments like ASX stocks, US-based stocks, as well as cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin or Ethereum. We analyze and look at various other analysts and figures in the space, look at how they are valuing investments, and analyze and predict ourselves.
Solana, FTT, Serum, those were all securities. They had an issuer. There were companies behind them. There were CEOs behind them. People could make more of them. People can destroy them. There are some people, insiders, that had disproportionate interest in them. Those could only be ethically sold to the general public pursuant to a full and fair disclosure. Right? This is common sense, right? If you create something and you dump it on the general population, you have an ethical obligation to tell them who made the decision, how much is there, what is your background, what's going to happen next. That's what you do when you take a company public. So coming back to this crypto issue, you had a little war between the two factions, and the right answer is if you're selling a crypto security, it should be regulated by the SEC. If you have a crypto commodity, then it's not a security. Now the question is, what's a crypto commodity? The chair of the SEC has said the only crypto asset that's clearly a commodity is Bitcoin. The chair of the CFTC had said as of a few months ago, the only crypto assets that are commodities are Bitcoin and Ether. But Ethereum's not really a commodity. Ethereum is a security, and that has been a big fight in the community below the surface. As of last Wednesday, the chair of the CFTC went to Princeton, gave a speech, and said, the only crypto asset which I deem as a commodity is Bitcoin. So now you have the CFTC and the SEC and certain other regulators, the head of Treasury, the head of the Federal Reserve, all of them, in essence, endorsing Bitcoin as a commodity and leaving us to figure out what we're going to do with the securities and the currencies that exist in this system. The thing that brought FTX crashing down is that Sam went to DC, spent a lot of money on lobbyists, lobbied for this bill that would have made both Bitcoin and Ethereum commodities. Offshore, the most influential person in the industry is CZ, but worldwide, I think the most influential person in the industry is the chair of the SEC. And the entire, Gary Gensler, and the entire industry pretty much is waiting to see what Gensler will do. And Gensler is pretty much the one person who could provide a playbook, or a set of rules of the road that would cause this industry to move forward in an economically responsible, ethical fashion. They sell it to the general public, but they never took the company public. There's no disclosures, right? So the SEC's position is you're selling an unregistered security. It's a crypto token, right? Just like Ethereum is an unregistered security. It's controlled by a few people in the Ethereum Foundation and Consensus.
Fair. Then here's a question.
Just like FTT, just like Solana.
Perfect. But here's a follow-up.
They're all unregistered security. You create a protocol.
Before we continue, click that YouTube like button and subscribe to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information, and it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring, and now let's continue.
You give it to the world. You disclaim beneficial ownership of it. You disclaim control of it, and you disappear. That's what Satoshi did. It was a gift to the world. If the founder's still around, and the founder is a billionaire, and the founder is spending hundreds of millions or billions of dollars to defend the token, isn't it obvious that it's a software company with an equity? So I think that that's pretty evident with all these crypto tokens. What you have is the complete sham Ponzi schemes, like that collapse in a hurry, like Terra Luna. Then you have crypto tokens that are unregistered securities that are perhaps somewhat pseudo-competently managed that don't collapse, but they're still unregistered securities, which makes them unethical to promote. And then you have cryptocurrencies like Tether and Circle. They attempt to have backing, right? Circle purports to have 100% backing for their coin. We know that like 83% of Tether deposits are backed by U.S. Treasuries if you're to believe their attestations. But again, those are not publicly traded companies. So I think the one thing that's missing in the crypto industry is, by and large, nearly everybody in the crypto market has never taken a company public. They don't understand securities law. They're like, if you're going to be kind, you're going to say they're well-meaning technologists that are enthusiastically pursuing new ideas. But generally, they're pursuing new ideas in an irresponsible, inappropriate, unethical fashion. Solana, FTT, Serum, those were all securities. They had an issuer. There were companies behind them. There were CEOs behind them. People could make more of them. People can destroy them. There are some people, insiders, that had disproportionate interest in them. Those could only be ethically sold to the general public pursuant to a full and fair disclosure. Right? This is common sense, right? If you create something and you dump it on the general population, you have an ethical obligation to tell them who made the decision, how much is there, what is your background, what's going to happen next. That's what you do when you take a company public. I think that a fire is lit under the DC politicians and the regulators. I think that we're going to get clarity, and I think that clarity is going to bring in a bunch of institutional money, a bunch of institutional banks and big investors and big corporations. And at some point, maybe now, between now and the end of the year, we're going to get to the bottom of the market, and then we're going to begin the next bull run. And I think that we'll be midway into a really nice bull run, and Bitcoin's going to be, way north of where it is right now. By the
north of the high of 60,000 or north of 100,000, or
I don't want to give a hard number because it would be irresponsible of me, but I just feel like Bitcoin has suffered the deleveraging, like that. Guys like FTX, they took $10 billion and then they panic sold it, or fire sales sold billions of dollars of assets, and that's what's got us to where we are. Once all of the bad actors and all of the irresponsible players have fire sold and panic sold all of their Bitcoin, then what you've done is you've transferred it into much stronger hands. And so I think that certainly we ought to be back to a solid place.